I'm standing in Marcus's apartment right now, staring at a screen that just ended everything I thought I knew about my life. My hands are shaking so badly I can barely hold my phone to record this voice memo, but I need to get this down before I lose my mind completely, before I do something I can't take back. The cursor on his laptop is still blinking in that chat window, the one he forgot to close when he rushed out to grab coffee 15 minutes ago. 15 minutes. That's all it took for 15 years of brotherhood to turn into ash. The message is still there. I've read it 4 times now, and each time it gets worse. Don't worry about Caleb. He's too trusting, too soft. He'll never see it coming. By the time he realizes what we've done, we'll be in Belize, spending his money. My best friend, my brother, the man who stood beside me at my wedding, the godfather to my daughter, the person I trusted more than anyone on this earth, Marcus Webb. And that message, it was sent to my wife, to Jennifer. 2 hours ago. Let me take you back to where this really started, because you need to understand something. Marcus and I weren't just friends. We were forged in fire, bound by blood, not literal blood, but the kind that runs deeper, the kind you choose. We met on the first day of freshman year at Portland State. I was this scrawny kid from Bend, Oregon, carrying 2 overstuffed duffel bags and a guitar case I barely knew how to play. Scholarship student, first in my family to go to college, terrified out of my mind but trying desperately not to show it. Marcus was my randomly assigned roommate. 6'2", athletic build, easy smile, expensive clothes, old money from Lake Oswego, the kind of guy who belonged at a place like this, the kind of guy who, in any other story, would have made my life hell. Instead, he became my everything. You play that thing, or is it just for show? Those were his first words to me, nodding at my guitar case. I'm learning, I said, probably too defensively. Good, I actually play. Maybe we can jam sometime. He grinned and stuck out his hand. Marcus Webb. Welcome to hell, roomie. I shook it. Caleb Morrison. That handshake. God, if I'd known where it would lead, would I have taken it? Would I have turned around and requested a room transfer right then? No. Even knowing everything I know now, I wouldn't have. Because what came after that handshake was the best 15 years of my life, right up until today. Those first few weeks at college, Marcus and I were inseparable. We couldn't have been more different on paper. He came from money, I came from nothing. He was smooth and confident. I was anxious and overthinking everything. He knew how to work a room. I knew how to disappear into one. But somehow, it worked. He'd drag me to parties when I wanted to hide in the library. I'd proofread his papers at 3 in the morning when he was too hungover to think straight. He taught me how to dress, how to talk to girls, how to walk into a room like I owned it. I taught him discipline, focus, how to actually care about something beyond the next good time. You're my conscience, Cal, he told me once, drunk and philosophical at some house party sophomore year. You make me want to be better. You're my courage, I told him back. You make me want to actually live. We graduated together, started our first jobs together, him at his father's investment firm, me at a small accounting practice in downtown Portland. Completely different paths, but we made time. Every Thursday night was sacred. Drinks at Bailey's tap room, no exceptions. No girlfriends, no work emergencies, nothing came before Thursday nights. Brotherhood before anything, Marcus would say, raising his beer. And I believed him. When I met Jennifer during my second year at the accounting firm, Marcus was the first person I told. I think I'm in love, I said over our Thursday beers. You think or you know? I know, God, Marcus, I know. He studied me for a long moment, then broke into this huge smile. Well, shit, let me meet her. Jennifer was a paralegal at one of our client firms, smart, beautiful, ambitious, dark hair, green eyes, laugh that could light up a room. She came from a background similar to mine, working class, fighting for everything she got. When I introduced her to Marcus, I was nervous. I needed him to approve. I needed them to get along. They hit it off immediately. Too well, I think now. Too fucking well. She's perfect for you, Marcus told me that night after she left. Don't screw this up. I won't. I'm serious, Cal. Girls like that don't come around often. You marry her. I did. 2 years later, Marcus was my best man. He gave this incredible speech that made everyone laugh and cry. He talked about how I'd changed his life, how I'd made him better, how Jennifer was the luckiest woman in the world to get me. But Caleb, he said, looking right at me with tears in his eyes, I'm the luckiest bastard here, because I got you as my brother, and that's forever. The whole room stood and applauded. Jennifer was crying. I was crying. Marcus hugged me so tight I could barely breathe. Brothers forever, he whispered in my ear. No matter what? I believed every word. Jennifer and I bought a small house in Selwood. Marcus bought a condo downtown. Expensive, modern, everything you'd expect. But he was at our place constantly. Sunday dinners became a tradition. He'd bring wine, I'd grill. Jennifer would make her famous chocolate cake. We'd sit on our back porch until midnight, talking about everything and nothing. When Jennifer got pregnant with Emma, Marcus was beside himself with joy. I'm going to be the best godfather ever, he declared. This kid is going to be so spoiled. You're already spoiling her and she's not even born yet, Jennifer laughed, gesturing to the mountain of gifts he'd already bought. Designer baby clothes, an absurdly expensive crib, toys for every age. That's my goddaughter. I'm allowed. Emma was born on a Tuesday in March. Marcus was at the hospital before my own parents arrived. He held her and cried, actually cried. She's perfect, he said. She looks just like Jen. Thank God, I joked. At least she got her mother's looks. And hopefully your heart, Marcus said softly, still looking at Emma. You're going to be an amazing dad, Cal. 3 years. Emma is 3 years old now. She calls Marcus Uncle Mama and lights up every time she sees him. He takes her for ice cream, reads her stories, teaches her knock-knock jokes that make no sense, but she laughs anyway. He's been planning her future, setting up a college fund without telling us, then surprising us with it on her 3rd birthday last month. I want to make sure she never has to worry, he said when we protested. She's my goddaughter. Let me do this. Jennifer hugged him. You're the best friend anyone could ask for. He hugged her back, just a little too long. His hand on her lower back, fingers spread. I noticed. Of course I noticed, but I pushed it away. That's crazy thinking. That's paranoia. That's insulting to both of them. That was 3 weeks ago. 2 months ago, things started changing. Small things. Things I told myself didn't mean anything. Marcus started texting Jennifer more. I'd see her phone light up with his name. She'd smile at the screen, type back quickly, then lock it before I could see what they were talking about. What's Marcus want? I'd ask, casually. Oh, just asking about dinner on Sunday. That's a lot of text for dinner plans. You know Marcus, he's chatty. She kissed my cheek and changed the subject. Marcus started showing up at our house when I wasn't there. I'd come home from work and find him sitting in our kitchen with Jennifer, drinking coffee, laughing about something they'd immediately stopped talking about when I walked in. Cal, didn't hear you come in, Marcus would say, standing up too quickly. What are you doing here? Just dropped by, wanted to see if you were home. But he'd been there long enough for 2 empty coffee cups to be on the table. Jennifer started going to the gym. My wife, who'd never been particularly interested in fitness, suddenly started going to the gym 4 times a week. She'd come home flushed and energized, talking about her new trainer, her new workout routine. You should come with me sometime, she said. I hate the gym, you know that. I know, but it's doing wonders for my stress. She'd head straight to the shower, taking her phone with her. She never used to take her phone into the bathroom. Marcus mentioned joining a gym, the same gym. Jennifer recommended it, he said casually, over Thursday beers. Says the trainers are great. When did Jennifer recommend that? Oh, we were texting about something else and it came up. You two text a lot. He looked at me sharply. Is that a problem? No, just an observation. She's my best friend.
Too, Cal. You know that. Did I? When did that happen? When did my wife become his best friend too? But I felt guilty for even thinking it. This is Marcus. This is Jennifer, the two people I trust most in the world. What kind of paranoid asshole was I becoming? I started watching more carefully, though. I couldn't help it. I noticed how Jennifer would light up when Marcus called, how she'd take the phone into another room, how she started buying new clothes, nicer clothes, tighter clothes, how she'd check her appearance in every mirror before Marcus came over. I noticed how Marcus looked at her, how his eyes would track her movements across a room, how he'd find excuses to touch her, hand on her shoulder, fingers brushing hers when he handed her something, standing just a little too close. I noticed how they'd exchange these quick glances sometimes, like they were sharing a private joke, like they had secrets. But every time I tried to grab onto these observations, they'd slip away.
What was I supposed to say? You look at my wife too much? You two text too often? I'd sound insane, jealous, controlling. So I said nothing? Until 3 weeks ago, when I came home early from work with a migraine. I'd texted Jennifer that I was coming home, but maybe she didn't see it. The front door was locked, which was weird, because her car was in the driveway. I used my key, stepped inside, and heard laughter from upstairs. Jennifer's laugh and Marcus's voice. My heart stopped, actually stopped. I stood in my own foyer, frozen, listening to my wife and my best friend laughing together in my bedroom at 2 in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Jennifer, I called out. Sudden silence, then hurried footsteps. Jennifer appeared at the top of the stairs, flushed, wearing workout clothes. Caleb, I didn't hear you come in. What are you doing home? Migraine. What are you doing? Just showing Marcus that dresser we're thinking of getting rid of. He's redoing his guest room, Marcus. Appeared behind her, also looking flushed. Hey man, sorry, didn't mean to intrude. Jen mentioned you guys might be selling that dresser, so I came to take a look. In our bedroom. That's where the dresser is, Jennifer said with a little laugh. Too light, too casual. Right. I climbed the stairs slowly, went into our bedroom. Everything looked normal. The dresser was there, nothing out of place, nothing to indicate anything other than exactly what they'd said. But something felt wrong. The energy in the room felt wrong. The way they were both breathing a little too hard felt wrong. You okay, Cal? Marcus asked. You look pale. Migraine. Right, well, I'll get out of your hair. He clapped me on the shoulder as he passed, heading downstairs. Let me know about the dresser, Jen. Jennifer came to me, put her hand on my forehead. You do feel warm. Let me get you some Tylenol. What were you really doing? She froze. What? You and Marcus, what were you really doing? I
told you, showing him the dresser. Her voice was calm, but her eyes weren't. For half an hour? We were talking too. Is that a crime? About what? I don't know, Caleb. Life, work. Jesus, what is this? Now she sounded angry, defensive, hurt. Are you seriously interrogating me right now? And that did it. That made me feel like the asshole, like the crazy husband who can't handle his wife having a friend. No, I'm sorry, my head is killing me. I'm not thinking straight. She softened immediately, wrapped her arms around me. It's okay. Come on, let's get you to bed. She took care of me that afternoon. Brought me water, closed the curtains, rubbed my temples. She was perfect, loving,
the Jennifer I married, and I felt like shit for doubting her. But that night, after I'd fallen asleep, I woke up around midnight and she wasn't in bed. I found her downstairs, sitting in the dark, typing on her phone. She jumped when she saw me. God, you scared me. Who are you texting at? Who?
Midnight? My sister. She's having issues with Brad again. She showed me the phone, and sure enough, there was a text chain with her sister about marital problems. Sorry, I'm being paranoid. You are, she agreed, but she smiled when she said it. Came and kissed me, led me back to bed. But here's the thing I remember now, looking back, when she showed me that text chain with her sister, I saw Marcus's name at the top of her recent messages. Timestamp, 11:47 p.m. What the fuck were they texting about at 11:47 at night? Last week, Jennifer told me she needed to go to Seattle for a paralegal conference. Friday through Sunday, 3 days. I know it's bad timing with your work stuff, but this is important for my career. Your mum said she could take Emma. Of course. Go, that's great, Jen. She seemed relieved. You're the best. I'll miss you. Thursday night, Marcus cancelled our weekly beers. Something came up, brother. Work thing. Can we reschedule? Sure. Everything okay?
Yeah. Just a client emergency. I'll make it up to you. Friday morning, Jennifer left for Seattle. I kissed her goodbye, told her I loved her, watched her drive away with her overnight bag. Emma and I waved from the porch. Friday night, I took Emma to my mother's house, then came home to an empty house and ordered pizza. I was scrolling through Netflix when I decided to check our security camera footage. We have a camera on the front porch for package deliveries. I wasn't looking for anything, I swear I wasn't, I just happened to notice it. Thursday night, 10:47 p.m., a car pulling into our driveway, Marcus's Tesla. He got out, looked around, and then let himself in our front door. He had a key, of course he had a key. We'd given him one years ago for emergencies. The timestamp said he left at 11:52 p.m., over an hour in our house the night before Jennifer left for Seattle. While I was at work, late, finishing a quarterly report, I called him immediately. Cal, what's up? Were you
At my house last night? Pause. What? Thursday night? Around 11? Were you at my house? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I should have mentioned. I stopped by to drop off that book I borrowed from Jen, the one about meditation. She said she needed it for her trip. At 11 p.m.? I know, bad timing, but I was in the neighborhood and remembered I had it in my car. I figured I'd just leave it inside so she'd see it before she left. Sorry, should have texted you. You were there for over an hour? Another pause, longer this time. Was I? I guess I stopped to use the bathroom and check some emails. Lost track of time. Why are you checking the security cameras? Just happened to see it. Cal. His voice changed. Got serious. What's going on with you lately? You've been acting weird, suspicious. Is everything okay? I don't know, Marcus. You tell me. Is everything okay? Brother, I don't know what you think is happening, but you're starting to worry me. Maybe you should talk to
someone? This paranoia isn't healthy. I'm not paranoid. You're checking security footage of your own house and interrogating me about returning a book. That sounds pretty paranoid to me. He was right. It did sound paranoid. It sounded crazy. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Work stress, I guess. It's okay, but seriously, talk to Jen about this when she gets back. This isn't like you. We hung up. I sat there feeling like I was losing my mind. Maybe I was. Maybe work stress and new parent exhaustion were making me see things that weren't there. Maybe I needed therapy, not answers. But I couldn't let it go. Sunday night, Jennifer came home from her conference. She was glowing, happy, full of stories about the sessions she'd attended, the people she'd met. Sounds like it was amazing, I said. It really was. I needed that. She hugged me tight. Missed you, though. That night, after she fell asleep, I did something I've never done before, something I'm ashamed of even now. I took her phone. My hands were shaking as I typed in her passcode, Emma's birthday. It worked. It had always worked. Why wouldn't it work? I went to her messages, found Marcus's name, clicked. The entire history was deleted. Every single message. The chain was completely empty. She had deleted everything. I checked her call logs. Nothing. All calls to and from Marcus deleted. My wife had systematically erased every trace of communication with my best friend from her phone. I put the phone back exactly where I'd found it, went downstairs, sat in the dark. And that's when I started planning. Not revenge, not yet. Just planning to find out the truth, planning to know for sure one way or another what was happening. Because I couldn't keep living like this. In this fog of suspicion and doubt and shame, I needed to know. I hired a private investigator, a guy named Rick Torres that a colleague had used during his divorce. I felt disgusting doing it, like the worst kind of husband. But I had to know. I need to know if my wife is having an affair, I told him, in his cramped office in Beaverton. Most of my clients already know, Rick said, not unkindly. They just need proof. I don't know, not for sure. Tell me what you do know. I told him everything, the texts, the gym, the deleted messages, Marcus in our house at midnight, the Seattle trip. All of it tumbled out in this pathetic stream of suspicion and hurt. Rick listened without judgment. When I finished, he nodded slowly. I can find out, but Mr. Morrison, I need you to be prepared for what I might find. In my experience, when someone comes to me with this many red flags, just find out, please. He did. It took him 4 days. Tuesday afternoon, he called me at work. We need to meet, not over the phone. I left work early, drove to his office with my heart hammering so hard I thought I might pass out. Rick had a manila folder on his desk. He didn't open it right away. Your wife is having an affair, he said simply. With Marcus Webb. The world tilted. Even though some part of me knew, hearing it said out loud made it real in a way I wasn't prepared for. Show me. He opened the folder. Photographs spilled out. Jennifer and Marcus entering a hotel in downtown Portland. Thursday afternoon, while I thought Marcus was at a client meeting and Jennifer was at work. Jennifer and Marcus at a restaurant in Vancouver, Washington, where they'd clearly thought no one would recognize them. His hand covering hers on the table. Jennifer and Marcus in his Tesla, parked at a viewpoint on the Columbia River Gorge. Kissing. Actually fucking kissing. More photos, dates and timestamps. A timeline of betrayal stretching back 4 months. 4 goddamn months. The Seattle conference? I managed to ask. He was there, same hotel. I have photos of them checking in together, separate rooms, but he visited her room multiple times. I thought I might throw up. There's more, Rick said, gently. Financial
records, he showed me. Bank statements. Marcus had been funneling money to Jennifer, small amounts at first, $500 here, $1,000 there, then larger, $5,000 last month, another $3,000 this month, always with innocuous memo lines. Dinner, loan repayment, concert tickets. What is this? I don't know yet, but there's a pattern here. They're planning something. What do you mean planning something? In my experience, when an affair involves regular money transfers, there's usually an end game. They're either preparing to run away together or they're planning something else. I recommend we dig deeper. Dig deeper. I paid him to keep investigating. Drove home in a daze, walked through my front door to find Jennifer cooking dinner, Emma playing with blocks on the floor. Hi, honey, Jennifer called out, smiling at me. You're home early. Dinner's almost ready. I looked at her, this woman I'd loved for 8 years, this woman who'd promised to love, honor, and cherish me. This
woman who was fucking my best friend and taking his money. You okay? She asked. You look pale. Fine. Long day. Well, go relax. Marcus is coming over for dinner. He should be here in 20 minutes. Of course he was. Of course. I went upstairs, locked myself in the bathroom and cried for the first time since my father died. Huge, gulping sobs that I had to muffle with a towel so Emma wouldn't hear. Then I washed my face, looked at myself in the mirror, and made a decision. I wasn't going to confront them. Not yet. I was going to do exactly what Rick suggested, dig deeper, find out what they were planning. And then I was going to destroy them both so completely that they'd wish I'd just confronted them. They wanted to betray me. They wanted to plan something in secret, thinking I was too trusting, too soft to ever suspect. Fine, let's see how that works out for them. Dinner that night was surreal. Marcus sat at my table, ate my food, played with my daughter, laughed at my jokes. He clinked his beer against mine. To Thursday traditions, he said, even if we have to move it to Tuesday sometimes. To Thursday traditions, I echoed, maintaining eye contact, smiling. Jennifer watched us with this soft expression, like she was proud of us, of our friendship. After dinner, Marcus helped clean up, while Jennifer put Emma to bed. We stood side by side at the sink, just like we'd done 1,000 times before. You know, Cal, he said, scrubbing a plate, I'm really glad we got past that weird tension from last week. What tension? You know, when you were all suspicious and checking cameras and stuff, I was worried you were developing some kind of trust issue or something. Nah, you were right. Just stress. I'm good now. Good. Because you and Jen and Emma, you guys are my family. I don't know what I'd do without you. I smiled at him. Same, brother. Same. He hugged me before he left. Actually hugged me. Love you, man. Love you too. Jennifer came, down right after he left. She wrapped her arms around me from behind while I finished the dishes. That was nice, she said. Just us and Marcus, like old times. Yeah. You seem better, more relaxed. I am. She kissed my neck. Want to go to bed early? We had sex that night. My wife, the woman who was sleeping with my best friend. She was enthusiastic, present, loving. Everything she'd always been. Afterward, she fell asleep in my arms, and I stared at the ceiling, planning. Rick called me 3 days later with an update. I've got something, but you're not going to like it. Tell me. Marcus has been accessing your business accounts. My blood went cold. What? He has login credentials to Morrison, an associate's client portal. Your accounting firm. He's been accessing client financial data for the past 6 weeks. That's impossible. That's password protected, 2-factor authentication. How would he even... And then I remembered. 2 months ago, Marcus had been at our house when I was working from home, dealing with a client emergency. I'd had to access the system and my laptop was acting up, so I'd borrowed Jennifer's. I'd logged in right there at the kitchen table with both of them present. Jennifer must have watched over my shoulder, memorized the password, passed it to Marcus. What's he doing with the information? I asked. Downloading files, financial records, tax documents, client lists. I think, and this is just a theory at this point, I think he's building a case for fraud. What? Hear me out. Your firm handles a lot of small business accounts, right? Restaurants, retail shops, that kind of thing? Yeah. Some of them probably operate on thin margins, pay employees under the table sometimes, creative accounting to minimize tax liability. Some, but that's standard practice. Every accountant knows clients sometimes. Right, but if someone wanted to make it look like you were deliberately facilitating tax fraud, helping clients hide income, enabling illegal practices, if they had access to the right files, presented them the right way to the right people, that could destroy your career, maybe even lead to criminal charges. The room spun. Why would Marcus want to destroy my career? I don't know, but combined with the affair, the money transfers to your wife. Mr. Morrison, I think they're planning to take everything from you. Your wife, your career, maybe even your daughter. Emma, he wouldn't. He's her godfather. Your wife would get primary custody in a divorce, especially if you were under criminal investigation, if you're in prison or professionally ruined, and she's with Marcus. He becomes the father figure in Emma's life. No, 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 no. How long do I have? I don't know, but whatever they're planning, they're getting close. The file downloads have accelerated in the past week. The money transfers have gotten larger. I'd say you have maybe 2 weeks before they make their move. 2
Weeks. I had 2 weeks to figure out how to destroy them before they destroyed me. I became a ghost in my own life, present but not present. I smiled, I laughed, I went through the motions. I kissed my wife goodbye in the mornings. I had Thursday beers with my best friend. I played with my daughter, but inside I was a machine. Cold, calculating, planning. Rick kept digging. I gave him access to everything, my email, my work accounts, my financial records. I needed to understand the full scope of what they were planning. The picture that emerged was devastating. Marcus had been systematically gathering evidence of every grey area in my business practices for months. He had files showing clients who paid cash, records of businesses that underreported income, tax returns that were aggressive in their deductions. Nothing criminal. This was all standard practice, defensible, explainable, but in the wrong hands, presented the wrong way, it could be made to look terrible. He'd also
been documenting everything about my personal life. He had emails where I'd complained about work stress, text messages where I'd made dark jokes about wanting to escape my responsibilities, photos from a bachelor party 2 years ago where I'd gotten drunk and stupid. Nothing scandalous, but easily taken out of context. Jennifer had been helping him. She'd been going through my home office, photographing documents, copying files. She'd accessed my personal laptop, my phone when I was in the shower or asleep. She'd been feeding Marcus information for months. They were building a narrative. Caleb Morrison, stressed out father and husband, cutting corners at work, drinking too much, emotionally unstable. Add in fake financial fraud, and I'd lose my professional license, probably face criminal charges. In the divorce that followed, Jennifer would get Emma, the house, everything, and Marcus would be there, waiting to step into my life. The final piece fell into place when Rick showed me bank records. Marcus had been moving money, a lot of money, offshore accounts, cryptocurrency. He was preparing to disappear. And the money wasn't just his, it was mine too. Marcus had been my financial advisor for years. I'd trusted him completely with my investments, my savings, Emma's college fund. He had power of attorney over my accounts for convenience. If something happened to me, he could make sure Jennifer and Emma were taken care of. He'd been slowly draining everything, small transfers that wouldn't trigger alerts, moving my money into accounts I didn't know about, then preparing to move it all offshore, where I'd never recover it. Between the fraud charges and the financial devastation, I'd have nothing. No career, no money, no daughter, no wife. They were going to leave me a broken, imprisoned shell of a person. And the truly sick part, I still didn't know why. What had I done to deserve this? When had Marcus decided to destroy me? When had Jennifer stopped loving me and started hating me enough to do this? I needed answers. But more than that, I needed revenge. I started with Marcus's father. Gregory Webb was old money, old Portland aristocracy. He ran an investment firm that had been in the family for 3 generations. He was also deeply traditional, deeply religious, and deeply intolerant of anything that threatened the family reputation. Marcus had always had a complicated relationship with his father. Growing up, he'd told me stories about Gregory's impossible expectations, his coldness, his disappointment in Marcus for not being serious enough, not dedicated enough. I'll never be good enough for him, Marcus had said once, drunk and melancholy. No matter what I do. Gregory had given Marcus a position at the firm after college, but Marcus had always been on the edges. Never trusted with the really important clients. Never made a full partner despite being the heir apparent. He's waiting for me to prove myself, Marcus had told me. I just
don't know what that proof looks like. Now I knew what it looked like. Marcus was trying to build his own fortune, separate from his father, using my money. Once he'd destroyed me and taken everything, he'd have enough to finally break free from Gregory's shadow. But Gregory didn't know about any of this, and Gregory valued integrity above all else. I called him on a Thursday morning, professional but friendly. We'd met dozens of times over the years at Marcus's family functions. Mr. Webb, this is Caleb Morrison, Marcus's friend. Caleb, of course, how are you? I'm well, thank you. Listen, I have a somewhat sensitive situation I'd like to discuss with you. It's regarding some investments Marcus has been managing for me. Oh. His tone sharpened immediately. Gregory Webb didn't like surprises. I've noticed some irregularities, money being moved to accounts I don't recognize. I'm sure there's an explanation, but I wanted to run it by you first before I raised any flags with the regulatory authorities. Silence. Then Diaz, can you come to my office this afternoon? I could. I brought Rick's files, everything, the transfers, the offshore accounts, the suspicious movements. I framed it carefully, not as Marcus deliberately stealing from me, but as possibly being in over his head, making mistakes, perhaps being influenced by someone else. Gregory's face went from concerned to furious to stone cold in the span of 30 minutes. I'll handle this, he said finally. Thank you for bringing this to me first, Caleb. You've always been a good friend to my son. Better than he deserved, apparently. I just want to understand what's happening. So do I. Give me a week. I gave him 3 days. Then I called him back. I'm sorry, Mr. Webb, but I can't wait any longer. I have a fiduciary duty to my family. I'm going to have to report this to the SEC. Wait, please, I need more time. If you report this now, it will destroy Marcus's career, destroy the family name. Give me 1 more week to make this right. I don't know if I can. I'll make you whole. Whatever he's taken, I'll replace it personally. Just give me time to handle this quietly. Hook, line, and sinker. 1 week, I agreed. But Mr. Webb, I need you to understand, this isn't just about money. I need to know why. Why would Marcus do this to me? We're brothers. I intend to find out. His voice was ice. I'll be in touch. I hung up and smiled. Gregory Webb was about to tear Marcus's life apart, trying to figure out what his son had done and why. And Marcus would have no idea where it was coming from. Round 1, to me. While Gregory was investigating Marcus, I turned my attention to Jennifer. My wife was a paralegal at Hoffman & Associates, a mid-sized law firm specializing in corporate law. She'd worked there for 6 years, moving up steadily, well-liked and respected. She was also sleeping with a client. Marcus's firm did business with Hoffman & Associates. Jennifer had access to
confidential case files, privileged communications, strategic information that Marcus should never have seen. If she'd been sharing that information with Marcus, using it to help him, giving him insider knowledge on deals, revealing litigation strategies, that was an ethics violation that would get her disbarred and possibly criminally charged. I had to prove she'd done it. Rick helped me set up a honeypot. We created a fake client for Hoffman & Associates, a small tech startup looking for representation in a funding round. The startup was real enough to pass basic due diligence, but every detail was carefully crafted to be irresistible to Marcus. The company was raising $5 million. The valuations were aggressive, the terms were favorable to early investors, and the whole thing was set up to look like insider information, that only someone at Hoffman and Associates would know about. We made sure the file landed on Jennifer's desk. 2 days later, Marcus called me for our Thursday beers. He was excited. "Hey, I've got a potential investment opportunity I wanted to run by you. Small tech startup, early stage, but the numbers look really good. Wondering if you might want to go in on it with me." "Yeah? Tell me about it." He described the fake company in perfect detail. Details he could only know if Jennifer had shown him the confidential file. "How'd you hear about this?" I asked casually. "I have my sources." He grinned. "You in?" "Let me think about it. Send me the details?" "Absolutely." He sent me an email that night, information that was nearly word for word from the confidential file. Jennifer had photographed pages and sent them to him. I had the metadata to prove it. I didn't report it immediately. I waited, let them think they'd gotten away with it, let them get comfortable. Meanwhile, Gregory Webb was closing in on Marcus. Marcus called me, stressed, 3 days later. "My dad is asking questions about my client accounts, wants to see everything. Do you
Know anything about this? Me? No, why would I? He mentioned your name, said you'd raised some concerns. Oh, that. Yeah, I noticed some weird transactions on my investment statements, and I called to ask about them. Your dad answered. He said he'd look into it, make sure everything was squared away. Why? Is something wrong? No, nothing's wrong. Just my dad being paranoid. You know how he is. I do. Hey, if there's a problem, just tell me. We can figure it out together. There's no problem. Everything's fine. But his voice said otherwise. Marcus was panicking. Good. The confrontation I'd been waiting for came a week later. Jennifer came home from work looking shaken. I need to talk to you about something. My heart rate spiked, but I kept my voice calm. What's wrong? There's been an issue at work. Someone reported a potential ethics violation. They're saying I shared confidential client information. What? That's crazy, did you? No, of course not, but they have...
They have evidence, emails, photographs of files. They're saying I sent them to an outside party. Who would say that? I don't know. It's under investigation. Caleb, I could lose my job, my license. I don't understand how this happened. She was crying now. Real tears. Real fear. And I held her. I comforted her. I told her it would be okay, that we'd figure it out together, that I believed in her. Is there anyone who might want to hurt you? I asked. Anyone you've had conflict with at work? No, everyone loves me there. This doesn't make sense. What about the files they're talking about? Do you remember handling them? She stopped, thinking. There was that tech startup file last week, but I didn't send anything to anyone. I would never, unless she sent them to Marcus. But she couldn't say that, not to me. We'll get through this, I promised. We'll hire a lawyer. We'll fight it. We can't afford that kind of lawyer. I'll ask Marcus. Maybe his dad knows someone. She flinched at Marcus's name. No, I don't want to involve them. They're family, Jen. They'd want to help. I said no. Interesting. That night, after she fell asleep, I checked her phone. She'd changed the passcode. I couldn't get in. So I checked the cell phone records instead. I'd added that to Rick's surveillance. She'd called Marcus 17 times that day, texted him over 100 messages. He hadn't answered any of them, because Marcus was dealing with his own problems. Gregory Webb had frozen all of Marcus's access to client accounts pending an internal investigation. Marcus was on administrative leave from the family firm. The walls were closing in. And the best part, they couldn't turn to each other for help without exposing the affair. They had to suffer separately in silence, maintaining the charade that nothing was wrong. I watched them both spiral. Jennifer became withdrawn, anxious, jumping every time her phone rang. Marcus started drinking more, missing our Thursday beers, making excuses about being busy with work issues. Everything okay? I'd ask, with genuine concern in my voice. Fine, just some family business stuff, nothing to worry about. They were both drowning, and they had no idea I was holding them underwater. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Marcus cracked first. He called me at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, drunk and rambling. Cal, I need to talk to you. Marcus, what's wrong? I fucked up. I fucked everything up. Where are you? My place. Can you come over? Please? I need my brother right now. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. I'll be right there. I told Jennifer I had to go help Marcus with something, that he sounded bad. She looked terrified. What's wrong with him? I don't know, but he needs me. Caleb, she grabbed my arm. Be careful. Of what? Just be careful. I drove to Marcus's condo in downtown Portland. He buzzed me up. I found him on his couch, surrounded by empty beer, bottles looking destroyed. What happened? I asked, sitting across from him. My dad thinks I'm stealing from clients. He's hired forensic accountants. They're going through everything. Are you? What? No, I would never. He stopped, looked at me. You believe me, right? You know me. I would never steal. Then you have nothing to worry about. That's not how this works, Cal. Once there's an investigation, once people start asking questions, my reputation is destroyed. The family name is destroyed. My dad will never forgive me. So prove them wrong. Show them your accounts are clean. I can't. Why not? He was silent for a long moment. Then, because they're not clean, not exactly. My blood pressure spiked, but I kept my face neutral, concerned. What do you mean? I've been moving money around, making investments without proper documentation. It's not illegal, it's just aggressive, creative accounting. But to someone looking for fraud, it could look bad. What are sort kind of investments? He didn't answer, just drank more beer. Marcus, what kind of investments? It doesn't matter. I just need time to sort it out. But my dad won't give me time. He's moving too fast. Maybe I can help. I can talk to him. Explain that you're a good guy, that there's obviously some misunderstanding. No. He grabbed my arm. Don't talk to him. Don't get involved. This is my mess. I have to clean it up. You're my brother. Your mess is my mess. He looked at me with these red, watery eyes. You're a better friend than I deserve. What does that mean? Nothing, He broke down, actually sobbed. I'm sorry, Cal, for everything. You've always been there for me, and I've been such a piece of shit. Hey, stop! Whatever's going on, we'll figure it out. You don't understand. I've done things I can't take back. My heart was pounding. What things? I can't tell you. You'd hate me. I could never hate you. Yes, you could. You will. He looked at me. When you find out what I've done, you're going to hate me. And you'll be right to. Find out what? Marcus, you're scaring me. I'm scared too. We sat there in silence. Him drinking, me waiting. Finally, he spoke again. If something happens to me, if this investigation goes bad and I end up arrested or whatever, promise me you'll take care of Jennifer and Emma. My blood froze. What? Just promise me. They'll need someone. You're the best man I know. Promise me you'll protect them. The audacity, the sheer fucking audacity of this man asking me to take care of the wife he'd been sleeping with and the daughter he'd planned to steal. Of course, I said, always. He hugged me, held on tight. I love you, brother. I need you to know that. Whatever happens, whatever you hear about me, I love you. I love you too. I left his apartment at 1 a.m., drove home in a daze. Jennifer was waiting up for me. Is he okay? No, he's a mess. Some business thing with his dad. I couldn't
really follow it. Did he say anything about me? About you? No, why would he? No reason, just wondering. She went to bed. I sat in the dark and realized I needed to accelerate my timeline. Marcus was breaking. Soon he'd confess everything to me or to someone else, and my carefully constructed revenge would fall apart. I needed to force their hand before they had a chance to control the narrative. It was time for the end game. I called Gregory Webb the next morning. Mr. Webb, I've been thinking about our conversation. I'm sorry, but I can't wait any longer. I'm filing a report with the SEC today. Caleb, please, I've given you time, but my family's entire savings is at stake. I have to protect them. What if I can give you proof that Marcus didn't act alone? I paused. What do you mean? My investigators have found evidence that he was working with someone, a woman. She was helping him access information, move money, cover tracks. Who? I can't say yet, but if you...
Give me 3 more days, I can give you everything. Names, evidence, the full scope of the conspiracy, and I'll make sure everyone involved faces consequences. I pretended to think about it. 3 days. That's it. Thank you, Caleb. You won't regret this. I hung up and smiled. Gregory was about to hand me Jennifer on a silver platter. 2 days later, he called me back. I have the evidence. Can you come to my office? I could. The file he showed me was devastating. Records of Jennifer accessing client accounts she shouldn't have had access to. Photos of her copying files, her fingerprints all over Marcus's scheme. I believe your wife and my son have been having an affair, Gregory said bluntly. And I believe they've been using that affair to defraud multiple parties, including you. No, that's... Jennifer would never... I'm sorry, Caleb, but the evidence is irrefutable. He showed me everything. The hotel records Rick had already given me, but now corroborated by Marcus's credit card statements that Gregory had access to, the money transfers, the deleted messages that Gregory's investigators had recovered from phone company records. What are you going to do? I asked quietly. I'm going to disown my son. He'll never work in finance again, and I'm going to make sure your wife faces criminal charges for her role in this. Mr. Webb, I appreciate the thoroughness of your investigation, but I need to think about my daughter. If this becomes public, if there's a trial, it will destroy her. I understand, but justice must be served. What if there was another way? What if they could be punished without destroying Emma's life in the process? He studied me. What did you have in mind? Here's where I became something other than Caleb Morrison, good husband and father. Here's where I crossed a line I can never uncross. I proposed a deal. Gregory would confront Marcus and Jennifer together, show them all the evidence, make it clear they were facing criminal prosecution. But then he'd offer them an out. They could disappear, leave Portland, leave the state, never contact me or Emma again. In exchange, no charges would be filed. You want to let them go free? Gregory asked incredulously. I want them gone. I want my daughter to never know what her mother did. I want to rebuild my life without the circus of a trial, and I want them to live every day knowing what they lost, what they gave up, with nothing to show for it. The money they stole, you'll return it to me, all of it. That's the deal. They leave with nothing. No money, no reputations, no connections, just each other and the guilt of what they've done. Gregory thought about it. They don't deserve this mercy. This isn't mercy, this is punishment. They wanted my life. Instead, they get exile in each other. That's its own kind of hell. He smiled slowly. You're more like me than I thought, Caleb. All right, I'll arrange the confrontation, but you need to be there. You need to face them. I will. The confrontation was set for the following Thursday. Ironic, given our Thursday night tradition. Gregory arranged for it to happen at his office, neutral ground, professional. He told Marcus it was about the investigation, told Jennifer she needed to come in for questioning about the ethics violations at her firm. I arrived early, sat in Gregory's office and watched as Marcus walked in, looking nervous. As Jennifer followed 5 minutes later, looking terrified when she saw Marcus already there. "What's going on?" Marcus asked. Gregory didn't waste time. He laid out everything, every file, every photo, every transaction, the affair, the fraud, the planned destruction of my life and career. Jennifer went white. Marcus started to argue, to deny, but Gregory cut him off. "Don't insult my intelligence. I have irrefutable proof of everything. The question is not whether you did it. The question is what happens next." "Dad, please, I'm not your father. Right now, I'm the chairman of a firm you attempted to defraud, and Mr. Morrison here is a friend whose family you tried to destroy." They both looked at me then, really looked at me, and I saw the moment they understood. "You knew?" Jennifer whispered. "You knew the whole time." "Not the whole time, but long enough." "Caleb, I can explain," Marcus started. "Don't!" My voice was quiet, deadly calm. "Don't you dare try to explain this to me. It wasn't supposed to happen like this." "How was it supposed to happen, Marcus? Walk me through your plan. When were you going to frame me for fraud? When were you going to take my daughter? When were you going to disappear with my wife and my money to Belize?" Jennifer made a small sound. "How do you—" "Your laptop," I said to Marcus. "You left it open that day I came over for coffee. I saw the message. He's too trusting, too soft. He'll never see it coming. Remember that?" The colour drained from his face. "That was 3 weeks ago."
I have known for 3 weeks, and I've spent every day since then making sure you lose everything. Caleb, please. Here's what's going to happen, I interrupted. Mr. Webb is going to give you a choice. You can face criminal prosecution, and I will testify, and you will both go to prison, and Emma will grow up visiting her mother behind glass, or you can disappear. Disappear? Jennifer's voice cracked. Leave Portland, leave Oregon. Never contact me or Emma again. All the money you stole gets returned. All the evidence gets sealed. You get to start over somewhere else with nothing except each other. That's not a choice, Marcus said. That's exile. Yes, I agreed. It is. But it's more than you deserve. It's more than I should give you. But I'm giving it to you anyway for Emma's sake. So she doesn't have to grow up knowing her mother is a criminal and her godfather is a thief. Jennifer was crying now. I never wanted to hurt Emma. But you did hurt her. You hurt all of us. For what, money? Each other? Was it worth it? It started as just talking, she said quietly. Marcus understood me in ways you didn't. I felt seen. And then it became more, and by the time I realized we'd crossed a line, I was in too deep. When did it start? Emma's 3rd birthday party. 4 months ago. When Marcus gave Emma the college fund. The college fund, I said. Was that always part of the plan? Make me think you were generous? Make me grateful? Make me trust you even more? No, that was real. I love Emma. I would never hurt her. You were planning to steal her from me. To give her a better life, Marcus shouted. You're a good man, Cal, but you're mediocre. You work a boring job, live a boring life. I could give her everything, private schools, travel, opportunities you could never provide. And that justified destroying me? You would have been fine. You're resilient. You would have rebuilt while you raised my daughter. Someone had to, Jennifer screamed. Someone had to give her more than your small dreams and your safe choices. She deserves the world. And there it was. The truth underneath all the lies. They didn't just want each other. They wanted my life, my daughter, because they thought they could do it better. They thought I was too small, too boring, too mediocre to deserve what I had. You're wrong, I said quietly. Emma doesn't need the world. She needs a father who loves her, a father who would never betray the people he claims to love, a father who keeps his promises. I stood up, looked at Gregory. Give them the paperwork. I want them gone by Monday. Caleb, please. Jennifer reached for me. I stepped back. Don't touch me. Don't talk to me. Sign the papers. Get out of my city and never come back. I walked out of that office and didn't look back. They signed the papers that afternoon. By Monday, they were gone. Marcus disappeared first, took what few possessions Gregory allowed him to keep and left.
Portland before dawn. I don't know where he went. I don't care. Jennifer was harder. She had to explain to Emma why Mommy was leaving. I have to go on a very long work trip, she told our daughter, kneeling in our living room, tears streaming down her face. But Daddy will take care of you and I'll always love you. When will you come back? Emma asked. I don't know, baby, but you be good for Daddy, okay? Okay, Mommy. I watched this scene from the doorway, felt nothing. No satisfaction, no anger, no sadness. Just emptiness. After Jennifer left, after she walked out of our house for the last time, Emma came to me. Is Mommy coming back? She asked. I don't know, sweetheart. Is it my fault? And that broke me. Whatever wall I'd built around my heart cracked. No. I picked her up, held her close. None of this is your fault. Mommy and Daddy have some grown-up problems, but none of it is because of you. You are perfect. You are loved, and I will always be here. Promise? Promise. She fell asleep in my arms that night. I sat in her room, watching her breathe, and wondered what kind of man I'd become. I'd destroyed 2 people, exiled them, made them lose everything. And the worst part? I didn't regret it, not even a little. That was 6 months ago. Emma is almost 4 now. She asks about her mother sometimes, but less and less often. Jennifer sends letters. Gregory allows that much, sent through lawyers so there's no return address. I read them to Emma sometimes. They're full of love and regret and empty promises. I haven't heard from Marcus at all. Gregory tells me he's somewhere in South America last anyone checked, working odd jobs, surviving, but just barely. Good. My practice recovered. Gregory returned all the stolen money plus interest. He's actually become something of a mentor, helping me expand Morrison and Associates, introducing me to better clients. You have a backbone, he told me. Most men would have fallen apart. You became stronger. I started dating someone new. Her name is Rachel. She's a teacher at Emma's preschool. Kind, genuine, uncomplicated. She knows about Jennifer, the sanitized version, the she cheated and left version, and she doesn't push for more. You'll tell me when you're ready, she said. I might never be ready. Emma calls her Miss Rachel. They bake cookies together. Rachel reads to her. Sometimes I watch them and feel this sharp pain in my chest. Grief for what Emma lost. Guilt for what I took from her. But then I remember that message. He's too trusting, too soft. He'll never see it coming. And the guilt fades. I'm standing in Marcus's old apartment right now. Not actually his apartment anymore, but the building where he used to live. I come here sometimes. Sit in my car across the street and remember that night. He called me, drunk and broken, begging for help. I could have helped him. I could have stopped the investigation, could have shown mercy, could have given him a chance to come clean and make things right. But I didn't. Because he was right about one thing. I'm not soft anymore. That man died the day I saw his message on the laptop. The trusting, forgiving, naive Caleb Morrison who believed the best in people. I built someone new from the ashes, someone harder, someone who understands that the world is full of people who will smile at you while sharpening their knives, someone who strikes first, strikes hard, and doesn't apologize. Is that better? Is that worse? I don't know. What I do know is this. My daughter is safe. My life is mine. And the two people who tried to take everything from me have nothing. They're somewhere out there right now, probably hating each other, probably regretting everything, probably wishing they could go back and choose differently. But they can't. Just like I can't go back to being the man I was before. We all made our choices. We all have to live with them. I started this recording 3 weeks after I found that message. I've been adding to it ever since, processing everything, trying to make sense of what happened and who I've become. I don't know if revenge was worth it. I don't know if I'm better off now than I would have been if I'd just confronted them immediately, divorced Jennifer, and moved on with my life. But I know this. They tried to destroy me because they thought I was too weak to fight back. They were wrong, and now they know it. Now everyone knows it. The soft, trusting Caleb Morrison is dead. He died in Marcus's apartment, staring at a laptop screen, reading words that shouldn't have been possible from people who should have been impossible to betray. What's left is something else. Someone else. Someone who protects his daughter, builds his business, moves forward with his life. Someone who will never, ever be betrayed again. Is that a victory? Is that growth? Is that healing? Or is it just another kind of wound, scarred over but never truly healed? I don't have the answer. All I have is Emma asleep in her bed right now, my practice growing and successful, my life reclaimed and rebuilt, and two ghosts who used to be the people I loved most in the world, wandering somewhere out there in exile, living with what they've done. That's enough. It has to be enough, because it's all I have left.